can be but my gratitude I earn. It can be but my gratitude I earn. It can be but my gratitude I earn. It can be but my gratitude I earn. Well, thank you all so much for joining me today in studying A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. We're reading from the original edition here on Sunday, July the 16th of 2023, Lesson 197. It can be but my gratitude I earn. Here is the second step we take to free your mind from the belief in outside force pitted against your own. So this is the second step. I expect the first step was yesterday's lesson when he says, it can be but myself I crucify. So we have to remove the negative before we can bring in the positive, is the way I look at it. So basically, you don't want to condemn your neighbor, because when you condemn your neighbor, you're condemning yourself. Well, the same thing is applicable in when you give thanks to your neighbor, you're giving thanks to yourself. So remember, the jailer is bound with his prisoner because he has to guard him. Well, what you give to your neighbor is what you're receiving. So if you want to give condemnation, you're going to feel condemned. If you want to give appreciation, you're going to feel appreciated. And that's how I'm seeing this. It can be but my gratitude I earn. Here is the second step we take to free your mind from the belief in outside force pitted against your own. You make attempts at kindness and forgiveness, yet you turn them to attack again unless you find external gratitude and lavish thanks. Your gifts must be received with honor, lest they be withdrawn. And so you think God's gifts are loans at best, at worst, deceptions which would cheat you of defenses to ensure that when he strikes, he will not fail to kill. How easily are God and guilt confused by those who know not what their thoughts can do. Deny your strength, and weakness must become salvation to you. See yourself as bound, and bars become your home. Nor will you leave the prison house or claim your strength until guilt and salvation are not seen as one, and freedom and salvation are perceived as joined, with strength beside them, to be sought and claimed and found and fully recognized. The world must thank you when you offer it release from your illusions. Yet your thanks belong to you as well, for its release can only mirror yours. Your gratitude is all your gifts require, that they be a lasting offering of a thankful heart, released from hell forever. Is it this you would undo by taking back your gifts because they were not honored? It is you who honor them and give them fitting thanks, for it is you who have received the gifts. It does not matter if another thinks your gifts unworthy. In his mind there is a part that joins with yours in thanking you. So, his persona, his ego, his perception of himself may not actually give you thanks, but that doesn't mean that he's not thankful, because there's a part of him that is thankful, and that's the part that you're really speaking to. It does not matter if another thinks your gifts unworthy. In his mind there is a part that joins with yours in thanking you. It does not matter if your gifts seem lost and ineffectual. They are received where they are given. In your gratitude are they accepted universally and thankfully acknowledged by the heart of God himself. And would you take them back when he has gratefully accepted them? God blesses every gift you give to him, and every gift is given him because it can be given only to yourself. And what belongs to God must be his own. Yet you will never realize his gifts are sure, eternal, changeless, limitless, forever giving out, extending love, and adding to your never-ending joy, while you forgive but to attack again. We want to stay solid on our forgiveness so we can realize that his gifts are sure, eternal, changeless, limitless, forever giving out, extending love, and adding to your never-ending joy, while you forgive but to attack again. Withdraw the gifts you give, and you will think that what is given you has been withdrawn. But learn to let forgiveness take away the sins you think you see outside yourself, and you can never think the gifts of God are lent but for a little while, before he snatches them away again in death. Before he snatches them away again in death. For death will have no meaning for you then. You keep practicing forgiveness without having interspersed times of attack and then forgiveness. Keep your forgiveness constant, and even the fear of death will leave you. For death will have no meaning for you then. And with the end of this belief, with the end of death, fear is forever undone. Fear is forever over. And with the end of this belief is fear forever over. Thank yourself for this, for he is grateful only unto God, and he gives thanks for you unto himself. To everyone who lives will Christ yet come, for everyone must live and breathe in him. His being in his Father is secure because their will is one. Their gratitude to all they have created has no end, for gratitude remains a part of love. Thanks be to you, the Holy Son of God. Thanks be to you, the Holy Son of God. For as you were created, you contain all things within yourself. And that's a capital S. And you are still as God created you, nor can you dim the light of your perfection. In your heart, the heart of God is laid. He holds you dear because you are himself. All gratitude belongs to you because of what you are. Give thanks as you receive it. Be you free of all ingratitude to anyone who makes yourself complete. And from this self is no one left outside. So everyone can help us along the way because we're all part of the one. And what he says is, give thanks as you receive it. Be you free of ingratitude to anyone who makes yourself complete. So those people that kind of tend to get under your skin are actually blessings. They're helping you become complete, to realize that you held a perception of yourself that was an idol, was not the Holy Son of God. And so give them thanks too, because they have the gift to give you to clear your mind of the debris of unforgiveness and judgment. Give thanks as you receive it. Be you free of all ingratitude to anyone who makes yourself complete. And from this self is no one left outside. So everyone can help you make you complete. So give thanks to everyone. Give thanks for all the countless channels which extend this self. All that you do is given unto him. All that you think can only be his thoughts, sharing with him the holy thoughts of God. Earn now the gratitude you have denied yourself when you forgot the function God has given you. But never think that he has ever ceased to offer thanks to you. Wow, isn't that beautiful? But never think that he has ever ceased to offer thanks to you. And back up another sentence or two. All that you think can only be his thoughts, sharing with him the holy thoughts of God. Earn now the gratitude you have denied yourself when you forgot the function God has given you, the function of thankfulness. And if you can't be thankful, well, then it's time to practice forgiveness. But never think, and that's your function until you can give thanks again. But never think that he has ever ceased to offer thanks to you. Wow, isn't that beautiful? God giving thanks to us. Never ceases to give thanks to us who extend himself. Okay, let's go take a look at our text reading. And we're ready in chapter 20, The Promise of the Resurrection, section 4, Sin as an Adjustment. And as you're turning there, what on earth is going on today? Hutchinson Memorial Day, Guinea Pig Appreciation Day, Hot Dog Night, Lake Superior Day, National Corn Fritters Day, National Daiquiri Day, National Fresh Spinach Day. And I might mention, I'm not fresh spinach. If you did have spinach growing, it's probably pretty much finished by this time in July. And it's probably gone to seed or bolted. And so you'd probably want to go ahead and harvest it. Maybe that's why it's called Fresh Spinach Day. Eat a lot of fresh spinach because it's all going to bolt and not be edible. That's your Spinacia oleracea. There's the other Malabar spinach, which isn't a true spinach. I forget it's a Malabar. I think it's a genus, but I'm not sure it's genus and species. I've got a little of it growing. It's up about yay tall right now, and it'll be ready to start eating before long. And it's a hot weather spinach substitute. National Ice Cream Day, National Personal Chef's Day, Sunday, your ice cream sundae, Sunday, and World Snake Day. And also wanted to tell you about another strawberry, and it's a June-bearing strawberry called the Chandler. It's a Fragaria ananasa cross, and it's a mid-season June-bearing. So if of your June bearings, you'll have your early season, mid-season, and late season, which basically they're all still in the early spring, June, here in the Ozarks, June. Early part of June, mid part of June, or late part of June, you might think of it. Well, these Chandlers are well suited for southern planting, a California variety that is adaptable to the eastern U.S., but it's susceptible to anthracnose disease. And it is a plant patent number 5262, and I found that you could actually get the license by calling the University of California Strawberry Licensing Program. They're the ones that developed it. Anyway, I tried to call them, but I wasn't able to get through. Not because I was going to really grow any commercially. I just wanted to see what the process was in case I decided I wanted to. Anyway, I found a really wonderful website that lists lots and lots of different types of strawberries and all their different, pretty much it seemed like a pretty much exhaustive list of strawberry varieties. And it's on strawberryplants.org. So thanks to them. And anyway, that's your Chandler June-bearing strawberry. Okay, let's go take a look at our text reading. Sin as an Adjustment, paragraph 16. The belief in sin is an adjustment, and an adjustment is a change, a shift in perception, or a belief that what was so before has been made different. Every adjustment is therefore a distortion and calls upon defenses to uphold it against reality. Knowledge requires no adjustment, and in fact is lost if any shift or change is undertaken, for this reduces it at once to mere perception, a way of looking in which certainty is lost and doubt has entered. To this impaired condition are adjustments necessary because they are not true. Who need adjust to truth, which calls on only what he is to understand? Remember, truth is changeless, but the world, the ephemeral world, or the changeable world, needs adjustments. So he's going to develop it a little more. Paragraph 17. Adjustments of any kind are of the ego, for it is the ego's fixed belief that all relationships depend upon adjustments to make of them what it would have them be. Direct relationships in which there are no interferences are always seen as dangerous. The ego is the self-appointed mediator of all relationships, making whatever adjustments it deems necessary and interposing them between those who would meet to keep them separate and prevent their union. That sentence, again, the ego is the self-appointed mediator of all relationships, making whatever adjustments it deems necessary and interposing them between those who would meet to keep them separate and prevent their union. It is this studied interference which makes it difficult for you to recognize your holy relationship for what it is. 18. The holy do not interfere with truth. They are not afraid of it, for it is within the truth they recognized their holiness and rejoiced at what they saw. They looked on it directly, without attempting to adjust themselves to it or it to them. Just let things be. And so they saw that it was in them, not deciding first where they would have it be. Their looking merely asked a question, and it was what they saw that answered them. You make the world and then adjust to it, and it to you. Nor is there any difference between yourself and it in your perception, which made them both. 19. A simple question yet remains and needs an answer. Do you like what you have made? A simple question. Do you like what you've made? A world of murder and attack through which you thread your timid way through constant dangers, alone and frightened, hoping at most that death will wait a little longer before it overtakes you and you disappear. You made this up. You made this up. Do you like it? Where there's war and death and sickness? It is a picture of what you think you are and how you see yourself. A murderer is frightened, and those who kill fear death. All these are but the fearful thoughts of those who would adjust themselves to a world made fearful by their adjustments. And they look out in sorrow from what is sad within and see the sadness there. 20. Have you not wondered what the world is really like? How it would look through happy eyes? The world you see is but a judgment on yourself. It is not there at all. Yet judgment lays a sentence on it, justifies it, and makes it real. Such is the world you see, a judgment on yourself and made by you. This sickly picture of yourself is carefully preserved by the ego, whose image it is and which it loves, and placed outside you in the world. And to this world must you adjust, as long as you believe this picture is outside and has you at its mercy. This world is merciless, and were it outside you, you should indeed be fearful. Yet it was you who made it merciless. And now, if mercilessness seems to look back at you, it can be corrected. That's a beautiful thing, that the world is a picture of our inner thoughts. And because it's a picture of our inner thoughts, we can change our inner thoughts and the whole world changes. 21. So it can be corrected is what he's saying. But you got to ask your question, do you like it? And if you don't like it, well, then we need to start doing those inner searching. Why do you, and practicing the forgiveness. Why do you hold judgments and want to hold things back? Just let things be. 21. Who in a holy relationship can long remain unholy? The world the holy see is one with them, just as the world the ego looks upon is like itself. The world the holy see is beautiful because they see their innocence in it. They did not tell it what it was. They did not make adjustments to fit their orders. They gently questioned it and whispered, "What are you?" And he who watches over all perception answered, "Take not the judgment of the world as an answer to the question, 'What am I?'" 22. The world believes in sin, but the belief that made it, as you see it, is not outside you. Seek not to make the Son of God adjust to his insanity. There is a stranger in him who wandered carelessly into the home of truth, and who will wander off. He came without a purpose, but he will not remain before the shining light the Holy Spirit offered and you accepted. For there the stranger is made homeless, and you are welcome. 23. Ask not this transient stranger, what am I? He is the only thing in all the universe that does not know. Yet it is he you asked, and it is to his answer that you would adjust. This one wild thought, fierce in its arrogance, and yet so tiny and so meaningless it slips unnoticed through the universe of truth, becomes your guide. To it you turn to ask the meaning of the universe, and of the one blind thing in all the seeing universe of truth, you ask, how shall I look upon the Son of God? And of the one blind thing in all the seeing universe of truth, you ask, how shall I look upon the Son of God? So we're checking in with the ego instead of with the Holy Spirit. Well, we want to check in with the Holy Spirit and ask him of the truth of who I am. 24. Does one ask judgment of what is totally bereft of judgment? And if you have, would you believe the answer and adjust to it as if it were the truth? The world you look on is the answer that it gave you, and you have given it power to adjust the world to make its answer true. You ask this puff of madness for the meaning of your unholy relationship, and adjusted it according to its insane answer. How happy did it make you? Did you meet with joy to bless the Son of God and give him thanks for all the happiness which he held out to you? Did you recognize each other as the eternal gift of God to you? Did you see the holiness that shone in both of you to bless the other? That is the purpose of your holy relationship. Ask not the means of its attainment of the one thing that still would have it be unholy. Give it no power to adjust the means and end. 25. Prisoners are bound with heavy chains for years, starved and emaciated, weak and exhausted, and with eyes so long cast down in darkness they remember not the light. Do not leap up in joy the instant they are made free. It takes a while for them to understand what freedom is. You groped but feebly in the dust and found each other's hand, uncertain whether to let it go or to take hold on life so long forgotten. Strengthen your hold and raise your eyes unto your strong companion, in whom the meaning of your freedom lies. He seemed to be crucified beside you, and yet his holiness remained untouched and perfect. With him beside you, you shall this day enter with him to paradise and know the peace of God. 26. Such is my will for both of you, for each of you for one another and for himself. Here there is only holiness and joining without limit. For what is heaven but union, direct and perfect, without the veil of fear upon it? Here are we one, looking with perfect gentleness upon each other and on ourselves. Here all thoughts of any separation between us become impossible. You who were prisoners in separation are now made free in paradise. And here would I unite with you, my friends, my brothers, and myself. Your gifts unto each other has given me the certainty our union will be soon. And the last paragraph, 27. Share then this faith with me, and know that it is justified. There is no fear in perfect love, because it knows no sin, and it must look on others as on itself. Looking with charity within, what can it fear without? Looking at charity, at love within, what can it fear without? We want to start doing that more and more. And when we first start and wake up, you know, it might take us and our brothers a little minute to grab our hand and join us. So be patient. Let them wake up. Be patient with them. Looking with charity within, what can it fear without? The innocent see safety, and the pure in heart see God within his Son, and look unto the Son to lead them to the Father. Where else would they go but where they will to be? Where else would they go but where they will to be? Each of you now will lead the other to the Father as surely as God created his Son holy and kept him so. In your brother is the light of God's eternal promise of your immortality. In your brother is the light of God's eternal promise of your immortality. See him as sinless, and there can be no fear in you. Wow, this sure goes well with our lesson yesterday and today. Today being, it can be but myself, it can be but my gratitude I earn. And yesterday, it can be but it can be but myself I crucify. So let's be sure that we remember that what we give out is what we're going to receive back. So let's be sure to give gratitude to each other today. Whether they see us, whether our brothers and sisters see it or not, it makes no difference. There's a part of them that does see it. So let's give gratitude to everyone who can help make us complete. Let's grab onto their hands, look them in the eye, and realize that how we see them is how we're seeing ourselves. So let's see them as innocent. Okay, well, be sure to do your 2 longer practice periods for at least 5 minutes, and 15 if you can. And that's what else? Your hourly Thanksgiving today. Be sure to, it can be but my gratitude I earn. So be sure to be grateful. It can be but my gratitude. It can be but my gratitude I earn. 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 So let's be busy today. How's he say it? Let's look at it once again. You make attempts at kindness and forgiveness, yet you turn them to attack again unless you find external gratitude and lavish thanks. So today, let's find reasons to be thankful. Thank our brothers. You don't have to do it verbally, though you can, but at least in your mind, be sure to give thanks. It can be but my gratitude I earn. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I'm very grateful. It can be but my gratitude I earn.